quick tutorial on rendering out a movie file. Um, First, what we're going to do is create a little composition. This is a composition with lots of layers in sound and video, and so it will take a while to render. So I'm just going to do something simple for the sake of showing you how this works. So first, let me just create a new composition, and it's going to default to what I have. I'm going to go ahead and make this black because I think I'm just going to place a logo on it and make it very short. So I only need 5 seconds. I think that'll do. And I'll hit OK. So I've got a 5-second comp here. I want you to know that if I'm clicked on my main composition here, it's going to render that main composition. But when I render, I need to make sure that I'm selected on the composition that I want to render up here in our little assets menu. So I've got comp1 here. I'm going to leave it named that. I'm going to go ahead and just drag this logo on there, and I'm going to go ahead and make the logo bigger. I'm not going to put any keyframes in this scale. I'm just going to go ahead and scale it up. I'm going to show you something later about vector files, where if you just click on this little vector icon, it will keep rendering this as a vector file. It's continuous raster on. So that's all I'm really going to do. Well, I should probably do something just to show you that it's moving. So let's go ahead and, I don't know, animate the scale. So I'm going to click the animate scale stopwatch, and I'll make that a little bit bigger. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do. So all that happens really is this there. That's a really simple movie. So when I want to render it, I will go up here to composition, and I'll add to render queue. Now, if you're on a PC, you may need to go through an extra step. Unless you want to load or download QuickTime, which there are security measures that it's a little tricky sometimes with Windows 10. They don't support QuickTime, so do it at your own risk. But if you need to, you can add a file to add to the media encoder, and then you go through another Adobe product to render out your movie, and that will give you an MP4 and not an MOV file. I know I'm going pretty quick, but I'll just go add to render queue, and then we have this pop up right here, and the first thing you want to notice is output to, and I think I'm outputting to my desktop. So if I click here, it's just going to give me an option. I can name this thing here. So if I wanted to name this KND, and save that to my desktop, it'll save that out as KND movie. So there's one place you can name it. What I want you to notice too is I don't want you to click on this little drop down. So don't click on the drop down. Click on where it says lossless, this blue lossless right here, because we don't, for our purposes here, don't want to render out a lossless file. We want to compress the file. So it's already defaulting to QuickTime, which is another thing that you can name here. But it already knows we want a QuickTime file. We don't want any of these. There are a lot of options. So let's go QuickTime, and we'll go to Format Options. Let me cancel that and go back. This button right here is our Format Options. We don't want the video codec animation. We want the video codec H.264. That is pretty much an all-around good until I find out different. That's the best encoder that I know of to use. So if you're rendering audio too, you might want to deal with the compression here depending on how complicated and big your audio file is. I particularly like ACC. You can go ACC, ACC low delay. I would say play around with it. I do like low delay, so you can try this, see what it sounds like. These are good encoders for your sound. I'll hit OK, and I have compressed my sound options there. So all you really have to do from there is hit OK, and then you're ready to render, and you just hit this little button over here, and this will render really fast. Bling. And you should have a .mov file saved to wherever you tell it to save to. Okay, I think that's it for now. See you next time.